What's up everyone? Fear Street Part 1 1994 just released on Netflix, so let's review it. Real quick, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you thought of Fear Street Part 1. I'm certainly interested to hear what different people thought about it. It's definitely an interesting movie. And this is going to be a spoiler-free review of the movie. I might talk some spoilers at the end, or I might kind of bridge on spoilers, but I will let you know. Either way, this should be spoiler-free. Anyways, let's get right into the review. So this movie is a new horror film from Netflix, and it's kind of this really unique thing where they're doing like 3 movies, and they're all coming out this month. I think that's actually a really cool concept, and it's something that it shows the potential of streaming. This is something that can never be done in theaters, because movies in theaters have to make money, and that wouldn't be like, maximizing the revenue if you release 3 movies in a short period of time. But this is something that absolutely Netflix can do, and I'm really excited to see where this franchise, or I guess it's a franchise, where it's going to go with the next 2 movies, as I think this did set it up pretty nice. But I just think this concept is really, really cool that Netflix is doing, and I really liked what I saw from it. Anyways, this movie follows a group of high schoolers who they live in this like haunted town where like there's a lot of like murders that have happened, and obviously we're going to get more of that as the other movies are going to go. I believe they're going to be in the past of events that happened before this. Anyways, so they're being hunted by like these like evil evil haunted spirits kind of people, but they're like people that are hunting them. So it kind of plays out like a slasher film as they try to survive as they're being hunted throughout the movie. And overall, I actually liked this film for the most part. I found it very entertaining. It was really a nice throwback to kind of the 90s, 80s slasher movies. I really liked the 90s setting. It just looked really nice. It opened in a mall, which is like the most 90s thing ever. There's lots of just 90s vibes that made it really enjoyable and really different. Even had Iron Maiden in there. I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan, so it was cool to see them in there as well. I really liked the setting of this movie. It's very fun. It made the movie stand out quite a bit. It was very like kind of vibrant, as you'd expect from a 90s movie. I'm definitely excited to see what they do with the future movies, once again with their respected settings, as I think it really worked here. I also really like the characters in this movie. They were just very likable. I mean, I was rooting for them to survive. I had no problems with them. Horror movies have a huge issue with kind of bland characters. Not the case here. I really enjoyed them. The acting was good from the younger actors. They did a good job. I thought the plot of this movie was a little generic, but overall I liked it for the most part. It was a very intriguing plot. I liked the kind of like haunted, cursed town plot. I think that allows, once again, I think that's going to fit right into the concept they're trying to do. And I liked the backstory we got in this movie. I liked all the different kind of like spirits, ghosts, like murderers that were featured in this movie. I think that was really interesting, and everything made sense. It didn't get ridiculous or anything, and I really appreciate that. And so overall, I just thought the plot was pretty good. The horror and slasher elements in this movie, obviously this is kind of a slasher film, not entirely a slasher film, but for the most part it worked. It wasn't scary at all. It almost felt like it was PG-13. There was elements where it definitely was rated R, but this movie, for the most part, was pretty tame with the horror. It almost, like I said, it felt PG-13 aside from a few moments within the film. And overall, the horror stuff, like I said, it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't like the best horror movie ever. It wasn't super scary, super gory, super bloody. It didn't have a lot of the classic slasher tropes. And one like kind of unique aspect of this movie is actually kind of long-ish. It's like 1 hour and 50 minutes, which can be long for a horror film. And it's really focused on the character development, and I thought that worked. I liked the characters' relationships, and like I thought them interacting with each other was good. I will get to an issue I have with that in a little bit, but I liked how kind of a lot of the movie is just the characters talking to each other, and I didn't necessarily mind that. It made the movie feel a little longer than it was, certainly, but it was alright. I didn't hate that at all. My issue with that was a lot of it was just this like teenage drama stuff that I really don't care about, and that was not really for me. It's kind of a lot of times this movie felt like it was targeting high schoolers, and I don't really like that. It just felt very like cheesy and very like bottom of the bin with a lot of the dialogue sometimes. And like, I'm not saying I don't like when we have teenage characters. Like if you go back to the movie Scream, it's all about teenage drama stuff, but that stuff's interesting. This is just bland, generic teenage drama stuff, and it's targeting high schoolers for the target audience, and I didn't like that. For the most part, it's very overbearing. It kind of weighed down the movie a little. And my second issue with this movie, I only have 2 main issues with the movie, is this movie didn't really know what it wanted to be. It kind of touched on a lot of things, and I feel like it needed to settle down and be like, okay, we want it, because it felt a lot like Stranger Things at times, and like there was like rip-offs of Stranger Things. It felt a lot like Scream at times, and it was like blatant rip-offs of Scream. It kind of had the generic haunted town plot where they're investigating kind of this series of murders and trying to figure out what's going on. It kind of felt like a textbook slasher movie at times, where with what they were doing with someone hunting them. So I really think this movie needed to settle down, because it's going for too many subgenres within horror, and really just kind of banking off of too many different things. I really think it needed to be a little more focused. Also, I think that just the tone of this movie was a little weird. I couldn't really tell if it was supposed to be funny or not. There's a number of moments within this movie where I laughed quite a bit. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny. Like when certain characters died, it was funny. I don't know what the tone was here. And that was a bit of an issue for me as well. And now I'm going to talk like a very minor spoiler about the ending. So if you don't want to know anything about the movie, just leave. But I think the movie just went on a little too long. The movie kind of ends, and then there's like 20 minutes left, and then it kind of like starts another like mini movie. I didn't like that. For me, it just dragged. I thought the movie was over, and then I checked the time on the TV, and it was like there's 20 minutes left. So I don't know. It felt very weird. You kind of were out of the movie at that point, and then there was another 20 minutes. I didn't even like I didn't even like the last 20 minutes with what they did with the characters. It kind of just had this like screw it horror ending, classic horror ending where just absolutely everything goes to shit. So I wasn't really a fan of that. Anyways, I kind of wish it just ended after the main sequence of things concluded. But anyways, I know I said a few bad things about the movie, but I did enjoy it. Trust me, it was an absolute blast. I love the 90s throwback. The slasher stuff was fun. The plot and characters were really good. It was just a very fun movie. I really like what Netflix did here. I'm excited for part 2, and they had a nice little teaser at the end of the movie for part 2, and it looks really good. So I'm really excited for it. So like I said, a really fun movie. Just a few major issues. So I'm going to give Fear Street Part 1, 1994, a 3 out of 5 stars and a 72%. I'm really excited for Fear Street Part 2, 1978, I believe. It's like a summer camp movie. I love summer camp movies, even if they're horror movies, so I'm excited to see what they do with that. Anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you thought of Fear Street Part 1. Are you excited for Fear Street Part 2? Are you bought into this kind of trilogy that Netflix is doing? I certainly am. I'm really excited to see where they go with it. Anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.